Is Christmas a pagan holiday, and should we celebrate it? You probably have seen online now many different videos saying that Christians are celebrating a pagan holiday that was by the Romans, a pagan holiday to Saturn, and it is really satanic. Well, let me put the record straight. Now, to understand Christmas, you have to understand the word. It is really an amalgamation of two words, Christ, Mass. Christ, we know, it means Anointed One, referring to Jesus Christ. And Mass comes from a Latin word in the Roman or Latin liturgy, which was at the end of the liturgy service, where today, still in the Roman Church, you will hear the phrase, "Go in peace to love and serve the Lord." It was an apostolic sending out of the church to do the work of Christ in the world. Now, later on, this word, missa, referred to the whole liturgy of the service of the Roman or the Latin-speaking churches. Still today in the Orthodox Church, they call it the liturgy of the service, where they have hymns, prayers, readings, preaching, and so forth. Now, in the English-speaking evangelical world, we call it service, and that's what liturgy means, public service. It comes from the Latin. So therefore, Christmas just means Christ service, a public service to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. So, in many languages, they don't use Christmas, they use Noël in French, Nollaig in Irish, Navidad in Spanish, because it refers to the Nativity, the birth of Christ. So we're celebrating the birth of Christ. Now, yes, in the first few centuries of the church, that wasn't a huge practice, but around about the late 3rd, 4th century, people were trying to decide when was Christ born, and they landed on the date, the 25th of December. Now, the Roman pagan festivals celebrated earlier on in the month. So it had nothing to do with the birth of Christ. It just was circumstance. And so the church began to celebrate the birth of Christ. Now there's another word that is used for the birth of Christ, and that is called the Epiphany. Epiphany means the appearing of Christ in the flesh, or the appearing of the Word of God. The eternally begotten Son of the Father became flesh and dwelt among us. And so in the Western Church, oftentimes, that is celebrated on the 6th of January, the Epiphany. Now, why does the Eastern Church celebrate it on the 7th of January and the Western Church celebrate it on the 25th of December? Well, it's because they use two different calendars. The Western Church uses the Gregorian calendar, and the Eastern Church uses the Julian calendar, which causes many dates to not coincide. And that's simply that. So there you have it. You can go and celebrate the birth of Christ, God's gift to humanity to save humanity from their sins. And if you hear somebody that usually does not understand history or theology or words, you can show them this video and set the records straight. So to everybody, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.